Welcome to the show for baseball fans by baseball fans. DingerBats.com presents Full Count, the podcast. Now here are your hosts, Keith Gibson and DingerBats owner, Kyle Drone.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Full Count here on Thursday night, a live edition here on Facebook. I am Keith Gibson. Alongside me, my co-host and owner of Dinger Bats, a guy who's sulking in his hands as we speak. It is no one other than Kyle Drone. And Kyle, I know it's been a rough 24 hours, hasn't it? It really has.
Yeah, bad beat, man. It was a heartbreaker last night.
What a game. What a game. An instant classic it was.
It was.
You know, it was pretty awesome. We knew it would be with Waino and Scherzer going. But we'll dive into that here in just a few minutes. But how you been this week? Great,
man. Just spinning them out, and it's been a good week.
Good. That's awesome. I'm glad that you had a good week. Things are busy down in Dingerville down there in Ridgeway. I hope everybody's got their trophy bats. And think Christmas coming up, people. You're going to have to get your orders in soon. They'll get busy. But no, we got a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk about the AL and NL Wildcard games, and both games were great ball games. We're going to talk about the ALDS and NLDS and what kind of matchups those are. We'll talk Manager of the Year. And we'll just kind of break down everything from a great week of baseball so far, and it's going to get even better because it's playoff time. Kyle Drone, are you ready to get going here on Full Count on this Thursday evening edition?
Absolutely, man. Let's do it.
All right, let's start by going around the horn. Let's talk NL Wildcard. Just dive right into it. An instant classic last night. As we said, Waino for the Cardinals, Scherzer for the Dodgers. Cowboy Joe West behind the plate. I wasn't real sure what to think about that when the game started. But, pretty consistent Joe was until about the third, fourth inning there. But he made some things. But, it was nice to see both teams come out. Both teams were fired up. I know it wasn't the result you wanted as the Dodgers beat the Cardinals 3-1 last night on a walk-off.
Right.
But you got to be pretty impressed with Waino being 40 years old going out there and just staying on his ball game.
Absolutely. I mean, he had it all working, and I mean, he's a competitor just like Scherzer is, and he went out and gritted it out and did everything he could to keep him in the ball game.
He made some great pitches, got some help early from defensively. He got a couple double play balls there early in the ball game, especially Dodgers were threatening, had some runners on. He got a broken bat double play ball. He caught a line drive, which I still don't know how he caught that.
Yeah, reflexes are pretty good for an old man.
Yeah, apparently. A lot better than I would have been. I would have had my head cut off with that line drive. But, no, great job by Waino last night. Tommy Edman really impressed me from that leadoff spot. I mean, he didn't get hard base hits, but he got on base, stole a base. Right. He was very important. You walk away from this season after a 17-game win streak, you get in the wild card, and the Cardinals fought it out. They did. Let me ask you this, though. Was it the right move by Dave Roberts to pull Scherzer? Would you have pulled Scherzer when he did in the fifth?
No, because I was rooting for the Cardinals. I thought they were going to get to him right there. But
as a baseball guy,
Yeah, no, absolutely. I felt like that was the right move because I felt the next at-bat was going to be, brutal for Scherzer. He just couldn't command anything, but that just shows you how great he is, that he guts it out and still competes. And, he didn't want to get out, come out of the game. But I think Dave made the right move there because I think the Cardinals were about to do something big that inning.
Yeah, and he went to the right guy, too. Former St. Louis Cardinal Joe Kelly came in, and Kelly got two big strikeouts and got what could have been a change of momentum, a change in the game. And so, it was – what a fantastic game, though. I thought it was the right call by Dave Roberts, too. I just thought Scherzer looked like he was – he threw 7 3-ball counts, which is a season high for him.
Right.
He was having trouble spotting his changeup. He was having trouble getting anywhere close to the plate with his slider. He didn't feel like it was Max Scherzer out there.
Right.
Part of me thinks that he may have been a little tired, and I worry about them moving forward a little bit, just because he's thrown so much since the trade deadline.
Yeah, but still the worry is there maybe a little bit, but he's always going to compete. He's going to grit it out. He's going to fight for you, and he's going to keep you in the game. So I don't worry about it as much as maybe somebody else would. But, the fatigue's going to get to you. He's an older player, and he's thrown a lot of innings, but, he's got that heart.
He's a free agent, too, and he did not want to come out of the ball game last time when Dave Roberts came out. He just left the ball in his glove and made Dave take it. But
he thought Dave just wanted to shake his hand or something.
Right. I wasn't real sure. What they said was he didn't like to be touched, but he still shook his hand. But,
right.
Let's talk later in the game. Let's move forward a little bit. Both teams couldn't figure out how to get a base hit or score a run. I mean, through the seventh, there was, Justin Turner hit the hanging curveball from Waino in the fourth, and hit and Turner does that. You're going to hang something, Turner's going to turn it around and take out the ballpark. Let's talk, though, later in the ball game. You're getting late in the game, and Mike Schilt brings Gallegos in.
Yep.
And in the eighth. Was that the right move? Because I didn't think so.
No, I was a little – my thought was he's going to let him go longer, like completely finish the game. If that was the case, I was good for it. I don't know why you flip your decision from Reyes to Gallegos, the last month of the season, and now you flip it in the playoff.
I wasn't sure about that either. I really thought that was a spot Reyes for Reyes. Or even if you bring in Flaherty for an inning or two and have to in a tie ball game and go to Gallegos later, I didn't like that move whatsoever. And Gallegos came in and did his job. He did.
For sure.
But then that left you kind of hamstrung, if you will, for later in the ball game. And we talked about this a couple weeks ago about Reyes. Is he a starter? Is he a reliever? He was taken from that reliever's job, even though he was an all-star this year and went 24 for his first 24. There's something different about him. I don't know if it's mechanics or what, but he hung it. And
I think it's up here.
I do
it's
too.
Right there. And then and that's my question on the last month of the season. You finally you moved him around, got him to a place where he's having success. He's got confidence. Now you flip the roles on him, and now he's in that high pressure situation that he obviously was struggling with after the All-Star break. So I just think that, that's in the back of his mind. And I mean, when you saw his reaction, he threw that pitch. His head didn't even turn. He just put his head down and walked to the dugout. I mean, it was, I felt bad for the guy. I really did, because I know he was out there trying to do his best, but and then on the flip side of it, you got Chris Taylor, who I enjoy watching him play. He's an all around good, utility guy. 8 for his last 72 and comes in and gets the big hit. So,
our good friend J.R. Lewis has commented here during the show that said it was a fingernail for Gallegos, and he was supposed to go out there and a fingernail. Mercy. But I don't like to call, but Chris Taylor, good for him. Super utility guy, free agent, by the way, after this season. Yeah. So could he get paid a little more for heroics and things like that? We always say a postseason can drive up your value, and he has experience there. So what do you take from the Cardinals now? Matt Carpenter surely is gone. You've got this young team with good core center pieces. You've got Arenado. You've got Goldschmidt at the corners. You kind of got a question at shortstop. Is it Mundo Sosa going to stay there? Is DeYoung going to be there? DeYoung came in and made a great play last night that probably saved a run, without a doubt, a leaping catch. Tommy Edman, of course, is going to be your starting second baseman. Yanni's behind the plate. Your outfield set. Do the Cardinals go after one of these big-time shortstops and spend a little money, or are they going to focus, you think, on the rotation more?
I think that's going to be Sosa's spot for the future, and they're going to lock down Arenado and start building on the pitching staff back end of it. And I'm really not sure what they're going to do with Reyes. I think they're going to go with him one more time and put him in the starter role.
I would think that would be the smartest thing for them, because I think there's some bullpen arms they can probably pick up and replace that. But it's also, if he gets his head right, you're talking Gallegos and Reyes in the back end of a bullpen. That's pretty strong too.
Yeah, but I think he was always groomed to be a starter. Kind of, one of those situations where he didn't fit in or wasn't able to fit in this year. but they wanted to get him in, so they put him in the bullpen. And, we had success early, and but I think his ultimate goal, or, the team's goal, was to get him in the starting rotation at some point.
We'll have to wait and see kind of what comes up here in the next, I don't know, in the offseason, I guess, and that'll be something we'll talk about, I'm sure, moving forward. Let's talk Dodgers. What did you see out of the Dodgers that impressed or didn't impress you last night?
Well, I mean, obviously Scherzer's performance, even though he didn't have his best stuff, their defense was solid all the way around, even though Seager almost made a crucial error there with the infield hit. I mean, they were poised and just calm, and you never felt like they thought they were in trouble. You know what I mean? So I think that's going to help them as they go through this series with the Giants. That's going to be a battle there. If the Giant pitchers can do what they've done all year, I think the Giants have the upper hand there.
First time a pair of 105 win teams will ever meet in the playoffs. First time that the Giants and Dodgers have ever met in the postseason. So that'll be definitely, we'll get that here later on as we talk about our NLDS matchups here. So stay tuned, and we'll dive into that a little bit. One thing I kind of texted you last night while watching the game. We were texting back and forth.
They were all friendly texts.
Yeah, they were. I didn't send any bad ones. Maybe a boom. Everyone, when Taylor hit that. But I texted you about Cody Bellinger, a guy that went from hitting 47, 115, and 300, just over, to hitting 1036 and a $165. How do you go? I don't know what has happened to him. I mean, this was a guy who was an MVP in 19. You're hitting 8th in a lineup and can barely make the lineup right now. Where is he falling off? I didn't realize it had gotten that bad, but it's gotten bad.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tremendously bad season for him, obviously. But, he's a tremendous talent, very athletic. I think he'll turn it around. I don't think it's a Chris Davis type situation where he, has the big year and then just is gone forever. Yeah, it's got to weigh on him. Hopefully he gets his mind right, does some mental strength building over the off season, because physically he's fine. Talent wise, he's fine. To me, when it comes to this stuff, it always has to be in between the ears.
Well, it's got to be something, because I think, you don't go from 47 to 115 and 300 to what he's done. So his swing looks like he's swinging a garden hose almost, and doesn't look as fluid either. But it'll be something the Dodgers will want to look at. So, we'll take a quick break. We will come back, and we'll dive in a little bit to the AL Wildcard right here on Full Count. You're listening to us on Facebook Live here tonight on Thursday evening. And also listen to us at DingerBats.com and on Saturday morning on 103.5 ESPN Radio.
Today's episode to you by
Beast SA certified 10-year specialized tree trimming. Call trees today 26051. Back here on Full Count, Keith Gibson, Kyle Drone with you. Thanks for joining us here on Thursday evening. We do appreciate it. If you're joining us here on Saturday morning on 103.5 ESPN Radio, we thank you for joining us there, too. Don't forget, you can watch our videos now live on the show on Thursday evenings on Facebook. Join our Facebook group, Full Count the Podcast. You can also follow Dinger Bats and go to dingerbats.com to make sure you order your trophy bat. If you've got a corporate event coming up, make sure you do that and get a nice trophy bat. And, Kyle, we've got a big event coming up just a little over a week from Saturday. The Strikeout Hunger Charity Golf Tournament. We've got a full slate of teams. We've got plenty of sponsors. We thank them for that. But it's 66 and sunny, 0% chance of rain. They're saying, I am getting excited.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun weekend. Raise some money for some good causes, and hang out with some friends.
Yep, and maybe a little libation, you never know what comes up there. But yeah, raising money for two great causes, the Eastern Illinois Food Bank and feeding our kids of Champaign and Douglas County. So looking forward to giving them some funds to help out this holiday season and make sure families get fed here in Central Illinois. So we do have some great teams from all over. I mean, we got teams from Southern Illinois. I know Andy Knapp and J.R. Lewis, good friends of ours, are coming up down there from Clay County. We've got some teams from over in Covington, Indiana coming over. We've got some great sponsor teams coming over, too. It's like Skeff Distributing, Pepsi. They're coming in, so excited. And we want to thank, of course, Jimmy Johns for providing lunch for us on Saturday. So looking forward to a great day. And as long as we beat J.R. and Andy's team, I don't care what we do, Kyle. That's my goal.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough accomplishment, but I think we can do it.
We got the secret weapon. We got the secret weapon following us all day long.
All right.
But, hey, let's dive back into the AL Wildcard game. Red Sox, Yankees, the rivalry, all the hype, all the pageantry. Boy, the Yankees just didn't bother to show up, did they?
No. Nope.
And Garrett Cole, once again, didn't bother to show up in the playoffs, did he?
That was they're not my Yankees, but I did have them picked to beat the Red Sox. But, I did not expect that performance. Schwarber got him again. Back when you remember that game when he
15
hit the river?
Yep.
Yeah,
15 the wild card game when he was in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that was actually with our bats. So I think I jumped out of my chair completely when that happened. I mean, that was a crazy experience. But I expected Cole to be one of those, that's what separates. I mean, I'm not saying Cole's not a great pitcher. He's a tremendous pitcher, obviously, but and you kind of go back to Kershaw, and I love Kershaw. And Kershaw up till last year never had very much success in the playoffs. And then you got people like Scherzer and Waino that are just going to grind it out. And they're going to be the guys that are the great ones. What's JR saying?
He's saying just tell him where the first tee box is and what the course record is. He's already talking.
Because they're going to write their score down before they tee off.
Yeah, I knew that'd get him going already this evening. But no, I'm with you. Cole's a great pitcher. He just never seems to show up in the postseason when he gets there.
He hasn't yet. Kershaw, it took him a while too, and he finally got it. I mean, I'm not saying he's not going to be that Kurt Schilling type, playoff pitcher, but he's just not there yet.
When's it happen though? I mean, that's my question. You paid $384 million, is that right?
24, I believe.
$324 million for this guy, and he can't get you out of 2 innings. He couldn't get you out of the third inning.
Yeah, no, it's rough, but what's he on the first or second year of that deal? He's still got 8 more years.
Right. And you got a great point. Kershaw was the same way. I still think Kershaw was either tipping his pitches or something because you just don't get it. I mean, maybe you just couldn't get it done in the playoff season either. It seemed like every time he pitched against Cardinals, who were coming in red hot and could do nothing wrong. Still last night, I really thought they should have probably won that game as well. They had plenty of opportunities. But anyway, so Yankees don't show up. Their offense doesn't show up besides Giancarlo Stanton, who hit a 380-foot single, a 400-foot single, and a double.
That's interesting about that, though. The announcer said that would have went out of 11 of the 14 other ballparks that they play in. So that ball goes out. The other one where they had the bad base running there and get
Judge out at home.
Thrown out at home.
Yeah, that's on Phil Nevin.
Wall as well. Yeah, it is. But you can argue that had to make a perfect throw, and he did. He skips that in there. The game's it's a different story. But I still rather would have had first and third with 1 out than what they ended up with, obviously. But if those balls get up 2 feet, it's a different story. But
correct.
Unfortunately, it didn't.
Yeah, it's amazing though. He doesn't even look like he swings hard. Stanton does not, and he's got pop. A lot of it's very strong.
Oh, for sure.
And his ball gets out fast. But it doesn't look like he swings strong. He's just that, country strong, I guess, or whatever you want to call it. But what did you take away from that? Nathan Eovaldi, a great start. I thought that was probably one of his best starts of his career on Monday night.
Yeah, and he got stronger when he got that early lead. He built off of it and got stronger, and that's what you want to do as a pitcher. You want to attack more, and I tell you, midway through the game, outside of Judge and Giancarlo, I felt like those Yankee hitters were just kind of defeated before they even stepped in the box. They must have realized he had his stuff on or his stuff going and was going to be tough. So they kind of beat themselves from the fourth inning on. But the Red Sox, if they click at the right time, I mean, they've got the talent. I mean, look at Bogarts and Devers and all the young hitters they have, and then the pitching staff's not that bad.
It's not, and you look for the Yankees for the good part. That made my night Monday night. Schwarber homered early for the Red Sox, which I loved, of course.
Yeah.
And then Rizzo homered for the Yankees. So
Yep.
two former Cubbies homered on the same night. So I was happy to see that. Now I hope the captain, and I'm talking Rizzo, comes back to Chicago, but I'm not going to hold my breath either. I'm not in the good of shape to hold my breath very long, so it doesn't really matter. But what I saw from the Yankees was a team that didn't have DJ LeMahieu in the lineup, a guy who gets on base, a guy. That's what they were missing, I think. And I think that's part of the thing they missed all year long was guys to get on base at the top of the order. Gleyber Torres struggled all year long. Urshela struggled in parts of the season up and down. LeMahieu was that consistent piece again, and that's why they signed him in last offseason to get on base and get ahead of Stanton, ahead of Judge, ahead of Rizzo in the second half. The guys that gave him base runners. I just didn't see that. Right. I don't see that from the Brett Gardner's 49, 70. He's
been around a while.
He has, but he's not the same player he once was.
No.
They don't have a guy at the top of the order, even the bottom part of the order, that can get on base consistently. And I think that's where the Yankees great. You have plenty of power, but you got to have guys on base in front of these guys so they can drive them in.
That's a good point.
And do you think home field advantage for the Red Sox was maybe a part of that as well?
Yeah, I think any time in those rivalry games, home field advantage is huge.
You put that in Yankee Stadium, I think I could – maybe Cole's more comfortable pitching in Yankee Stadium.
You put that in Yankee Stadium, both of Stanton's balls go out of the ballpark.
All three, including his double, would have been out of the ballpark as well.
Right.
So,
okay.
It's I think it's a different name. So – read a report and read a story, an article, and a guy had I believe it was on Bleacher Report today, and it kind of made me think a little bit. So I want to throw this at you. These won, because they were talking about the Dodgers, 106 wins, having to play in the wild card game.
Mm-hmm.
The NBA ranks when they go in the playoffs, it's by record.
Right.
Whether you win your conference division, whatever they call it in the NBA, I don't watch the NBA.
Yeah.
Does baseball need to go to that? Where you take the Giants had 107 wins, they're the 1 seed. Dodgers had 106, right. You're the 2 seed. Right. And all the way down until you have the 5 seed and the bottom 2 play to get in. Would you rather see that?
I would not be mad at that, just because it's a shame to had the Cardinals won last night. The Giants or the Dodgers rather, they're gone, they're done. They have a tremendous season, 1 game, and they're out. I'd like to see, especially when a lot of these divisions are stacked so heavy, like the West, and things like that. So yeah, I mean, it would definitely be something I would be fine with. I don't think division championships are as important as they once were.
I agree with you. When it was 2 divisions back in the mid '80s, when you had the East and West.
Right.
Yeah, winning your division was very important.
Yes.
It's for the wild card. But now, I would rather see it go to that format where if you win 106 games, you're not going to play in the wild card. Let's be honest here. Let's give you what you've earned, and maybe make that wild card instead of a 1 game. Maybe make it 2 or 3, best of 3 series.
Yeah.
I could see that, but then I think okay, the teams that have won the division then. You know how it can be. If you sit out for 3-4 days, because you're going to have a travel day in there somewhere.
Right.
If you're sitting out 3 or 4 days waiting to play, you can get a little rusty. I mean, when you've played 162. So what's your thoughts on that as well?
Yeah, I mean, I like the first option a little bit better because extending series, I mean, I would like that in theory, but we're already, if you play these series all the way out, you're playing baseball in November, the first part of November, and you can only extend it out so far.
Well, you can. I mean, Jeter hit a home run, Mr. November. Remember?
We're right.
Right, but no, I see exactly what you're saying. You're right. It just
especially since you got to figure too, because of the last collective bargaining deal. Now they have actual more games or more days off throughout the season, so it's going to push it back even further.
So do you want to shorten the season then to make the playoffs even more?
No. I don't want to shorten the season. I'm just saying use the same playoff format, but the wild card is the last two teams record-wise, regardless of division.
I agree. If it's the Brewers and Cardinals with the last two because the Central's awful, so be it.
Right.
You just didn't win the games you should have. If your division's awful, and you should win more games in.
Right.
You just can't lose 107 like the Diamondbacks and Orioles. So, all right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back, and we will start to break down. You might want to get a drink here at this commercial break because we're going to take one, come back, and we're going to break down the ALDS and NLDS matchups and who we see coming out of it right here on Full Count. You watch us here on Thursday night on Facebook or listening to us on Saturday morning on 103.5 ESPN Radio.
Homes is your full team campaign team out while in their home buyers, home sellers, and build new construction homes. So they really are seeing all angles of the real estate industry from existing homes, investment properties, and new construction. Contact Kester Homes at 217-390-5953 or visit online at KesterHomes.com. That's KOESTER Homes.com. Kester Homes is a licensed real estate broker with the Keller Williams, the Real Estate Center of Illinois.
Back here on Full Count. Thank you for joining us here this evening, live on Facebook Thursday evening. We have talked about the NL and AL Wildcard games, and they are a lot of fun, Kyle. We talked about should they expand that? What should they do with that? But after watching last night's ball game of the NL Wildcard between Dodgers and Cardinals, that, as a baseball purist as we both are and like old baseball, that was a fun game for me. And a lot of people I talked to today said, man, that game lasted forever. It didn't go to almost midnight. And, yeah, I know. I was up watching it out here in the clubhouse lounge. But to me, I was in that game the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, that's baseball. That's the brand of baseball I grew up loving. That's what's exciting to me. And I think now, guys want to see the 8-7 game. They want it to be, they want the walk-off, but they want high scoring the entire game. And that's, that's got its place from time to time, but, there's nothing better to me than a pitching duel with great defense, game-saving plays, big pitches, like the biggest pitch. And I was nervous, because I'm a big Trey Turner fan, and, 1 out, bases loaded, and, Waino got the pitch, got him out, broke his bat. And, the broken bat, I was like, first you got the ground ball, but, man, this guy is fast.
Right.
And I thought he was going to beat it out, and they were going to tie the game right there. So, tremendous play. Obviously timely hitting by the Dodgers late, and, that was the difference maker. But they both had chances, and that's good baseball to me.
Me too, and I enjoyed that thoroughly, and then hopefully the ALDS and NLDS brings us more games like that. Let's start there. Let's start with the ALDS. It got started this afternoon with the White Sox and Astros starting Game 1. The ALDS, the Red Sox Rays going on right now as we speak. But Sox, Sox were my pick to win the series, but they did not look good, and Lance Lynn did not look good in Game 1 today. But I still like the Sox in this series. I do. I'm hoping. I'm praying.
Yeah. I mean, it's one game. They can bounce back. It's not anything to get worried about. But they got to win. They need to split on the road.
Yep, definitely, without a doubt. I knew the Astros were good, and I knew the Astros were deep. But I didn't realize when you have Kyle Tucker hitting 8th in your lineup with 26 homers and 80 RBIs and hitting 270, how deep they really are.
Right.
boy, there's no wonder they won the West. They're pretty good. I'm just worried about that they have enough pitching. I don't think they're a World Series team. I don't think they get that far. But they're loaded offensively. You talk about Yordan Alvarez, Correa, Altuve. They've got some Bregman.
Brantley.
Yeah, they've got some pop in that lineup. They've got some guys who get on base. It's a solid offensive team. Agreed?
Yeah, but I agree with you on the pitching side. They're going to have to just out-hit everybody if they're going to make it anywhere. That's why I agree with you with the White Sox. I think they'll buckle down and they'll get some great starts the next couple of games and probably end up winning the series. But yeah, they're impressive offensively, and they got on him early, and that's what you got to do with Lance Lynn.
I think Lance. I felt the squeeze a little bit, or not just because I'm rooting for Sox. I really, I picked the Sox to win the World Series, beginning of the year, and I'm still going to stick with that. Yeah. But I thought that the zone was pretty tight early on, and he's a guy that likes to work the corners, and he's a guy that also likes to throw first pitch fastballs. Well, that's what Altuve and Correa and these guys are sitting on through the first 4 or 5 innings, and that's when they really got to him. They were sitting on first pitch fastball. So now you look at the White Sox, though, and I started thinking about this before we came on tonight, and I said, you got Giolito, you got Keuchel, and Rodon is an iffy. They don't know if he's going to be okay to throw or not. Yeah. In a 5-game set, Giolito's one of those guys who's either great or he's not on. Either he's on or he's off, period. Right. And Keuchel's one of those guys that can, be a Cy Young Award winner like he was once. Or he can give up 8 runs in 2 innings.
Hey, I'm hearing a little doubt in your voice.
There is a little doubt. There is. If Rodon was healthy, I wouldn't have the doubt. I wouldn't, because I'd say, okay, he comes back game 2, you'll be all right. Giolito makes me a little nervous with going game 2. If you get down 0-2 in a 5-game set, it's really. I mean, the chances of coming back are slim.
No, yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think Giolito will step up to the plate or step up to the mound rather, and give a tremendous performance, and hopefully the bats will work behind him. But yeah, I mean, I agree with I understand your point, but we'll just have to see what happens.
The other series, the other ALDS, I don't know what score is right now. I'm sure we'll find out after we get off the air here. Red Sox Rays. Rays, best record in the American League. And again, they do it by, I don't know how they do it. I don't know how to explain it. They just get contributions. They make great deals. They got Wander Franco, who comes in. You can trade a guy like Willie Adames to the Brewers, but then you bring up a guy like Wander who just replaces him, and things just keep rolling. It's like you lose Tyler Glass now, and things just keep rolling. I mean, it's just like they don't miss a step ever. I don't know how they do it, but they just keep doing it. And then they brought in Nelson Cruz to DH, which has been a big, I think, influence the second half in the locker room. Who do you like in this series?
Yep. I like Tampa. They're up 3-0 in the 4th right now.
Well, of course, you'll take the team that's winning game 1.
Hey, I got to. But let's see who got the big RBIs. Got an RBI by Cruz and Diaz. So, yeah, I mean, they just seem to get it done. I guess the closest team out there that I can compare to them, offensively is the Giants. They don't have, until they got Cruz, they don't have those, just loud, 40 home run guys, but they just get timely hitting.
Yeah, they don't have any big boppers. They don't until they got Cruz, and he didn't really hit well the second half. I mean, he came around, but he kind of slow after the trade deadline, and he's no young pup either. I mean, he's 40 years old and still doing what he does, and he's going to get signed somewhere if he wants to play next year. The Red Sox, on the other hand, showed me a lot Monday night. I don't get to watch. I don't watch a whole lot of the Sox, but J.D. Martinez was not in the lineup. You didn't have Christian Vasquez in the lineup. You had Bobby Dahlback, I think, is a young man who's going to do a lot of good things for the Red Sox, and already has this year. Right. But the Red Sox show me that they have guys who can put the ball in play. They don't strike out a whole lot, and that could be ideal against Tampa because they're going to make them play defense. And Tampa's young, and I think they'll play decent defense, but it could come down to offensively who's going to put up more numbers. Who's going to put the bigger number on the scoreboard?
Right. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Could you imagine that Red Sox team if Mookie stayed around?
I'm okay. Let's talk about that real quick. I like that question. I do, because I could imagine it, but I think it's a different type of team. I don't think you see Kyle Schwarber there. I don't think you see, I don't know, a Dahlbach there. We wouldn't actually. I mean, he plays some first, but I'm not sure you see the development of some of these younger guys like they have already gotten if Mookie's still there. But if he is there, mercy. It's been a lot of fun. But the same way with the Astros, we talked about that. I worry about the Sox pitching. I know Eovaldi pitched well Monday. You've got, Sale going. But past that, what do you got?
Right.
The bullpen's good, but you still got to have starting pitchers who can go. I guess now you can go 4 innings, but or in Cole's case you can go 2. But I like the Rays in this series too. I do. Just because I think they're more consistent right now than the Red Sox are, and especially the way they finish the season and coming in.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's jump over the NL. Let's go Braves, Brewers. We'll end with Dodgers, Giants, because that's a big one. And not that the Braves, Brewers aren't, but I think there's more interest in Giants, Dodgers, right? I love the shirt. I love the Braves shirt because I'm all Braves. I can't stand the Brewers.
Yeah.
Almost as much as I can't stand the Cardinals, but I tolerate the Cardinals just because of you. But let's talk Braves Brewers. I like Braves. I'm gonna call this right now, right here on this show as we are live on Facebook. I will not be surprised if the Braves don't sweep this series.
Wow, that's pretty bold.
It is. I just think they're coming in. They're playing great baseball. They've got a ton of offense, and I'm not sure the Brewers can match that at all because it's going to come down to offense. Who can put up the bigger numbers? If Burns and Woodruff slow them down, then the Braves are in trouble. We'll see game 1 how this series goes. But the Braves get game 1, they sweep the series.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely pulling for the Braves. I've always, admired the way they play down there, and the Priest or the mid-season pickups were probably the best ones offensively anyway across the league. So I agree with you 100%. If they can throw those 2 pitchers twice in this series and they're on, or have a chance to, it's going to be tight. But if the Braves can come out and pound on them early in this first game, I think there's potential sweep, but I'll say 3-1.
Okay. I like that. I can see that too. I don't see Burns and Woodruff both pitching twice in this series. I don't, because they're going to need more rest than that, unless it goes 5. But even then, that's a stretch. But there's so many off days now because of travel and.
Well, that's what I mean. If it goes 5, and it's winner take all, winner goes home. I mean, you've.
It's all hands on deck.
Council will throw them. They might go 1-2 in the last game.
Let's talk. You talked about the Braves' midseason moves. Adam Duvall is not getting enough credit for what numbers he's put up this year. I'm a big fan of the numbers he's put up. I think he should get some MVP votes. You're talking 37 homers, 115 RBIs. The guy hit over 280. How is he not being talked about for MVP?
Because he's Adam Duvall. I think they have in mind who their superstars are, as far as the writers. And, he's always been a consistently good player, putting up big home run numbers in Cincinnati. But he's never been that guy. I mean,
right.
Bryce Harper, they don't, you go Bryce Harper, Adam Duvall. It's just not as exciting, and that's nothing against him because he deserves all the credit in the world, and should not be faulted for not being the face of baseball or something like that. But I think that's just how it goes. The popularity contest.
You're right, and nothing to take away from Bryce Harper in Philadelphia or Juan Soto in Washington, because they both had phenomenal years too. And I still don't know. I think it's a toss-up, flip a coin. Anybody could win the National League MVP this year.
Right.
By the way, Juan Soto showing up in a Trey Turner Nats jersey last night was a pretty cool moment in my eyes as well.
That was.
And then you had their hitting coach showing up in a Scherzer jersey. I think that's really cool. I think it's classy coming to cheer on your buddies. So, but all right. So we both like the Braves. I like the sweep. You like 3-1. let's move back. Let's just take a step back here real quick. Give me Astros White Sox. What's that series end as?
Man, that's tough. I mean, if the Astros bats keep going, and then now I was riding your pick the whole way, but you got doubt. You're making me doubt it now. So I think the Astros got a really good shot.
I like Sox in 5.
Sox in 5.
Yep. Let's talk Rays, Red Sox. Who do you like there?
Rays.
I like Rays in 4. Yep, I think the Sox get 1. But all right, let's move on then. Let's go San Francisco, L.A., West Coast. You're going to have 5 o'clock Central Time game times, I guess. No, they'll be playing 5 o'clock their time with the TV schedules and everything, But, okay, these two have fought it all year long. You kept saying all year. I don't know how the Giants keep doing.
What's their season record against each other this year?
You know, I do not. Off the top of my head, I do not know. I don't.
I mean, you can say this about every game or every series or whatever. It's going to come down to pitching, and this year the Giants' pitching was tremendous. So I've got to give them the edge. And they're both kind of in the same boat offensively. Dodgers have a little more thump, but they're both down their first baseman. Max Muncy was a lot of home runs, big time hitter. Belt, same way. Big playoff players. So they're kind of equaled out there. So it's going to come down to the pitching in this way more than I think any of the other series.
Kershaw, they said, is out for the postseason. So you're going to have a 20-game winner in Urias, Buehler, Scherzer, and Price available for the Dodgers.
Right. So, those top 3, I mean, I don't want to knock on Price, but
it's okay. You can say it. He's not the same David Price.
Yeah. And then, if you look at it from that perspective, you've got 2 really young, tremendous players in Urias and Buehler, and one veteran, that's just tough as nails. On the other side, you've got these pitchers that have been mediocre pitchers their entire career, and now all 3-4 of them have had breakthrough seasons at the same time. So they're all, been in the league for a while, not a lot of playoff experience. So it'll be interesting.
It will be interesting. I'm giving the Dodgers the edge, and it's due to pitching, due to having Urias, Buehler, and Scherzer. And then if you need to throw Price a game 4, you can. Maybe not this series, maybe next series, but Scherzer's going to need some rest. I mean, he threw a lot of pitches. I mean, even through 5 innings, I think he was up to 94, 95 pitches through 5. Right. That's a lot of pitches for 5 innings. I mean, the Cardinals did a great job of working him last night.
Yep.
Literally, that's what she said. But I like the Dodgers in an edge. I think this is going to be probably the best series out of all the ALDSs. I do. I think it'll go 5 games. I think they'll be tight games. Kenley Jansen showed me that, Kenley's had some struggles this year, too, in the back of the bullpen for the Dodgers. But I like that Dodgers bullpen a lot. I know Melanson's back in San Francisco, and he's had a good year for them. But, boy, I tell you what, Kenley Jansen is a big boy, and when he brings it like he does, it's just hard to pick it up. When he throws that slider or curveball, whatever it is, from all the way up top here, down, and it's coming down at you, I mean, he's a tough guy to hit.
Well, yeah, he's always had his stuff. But what I noticed last night is, and it was kind of not scary, but he had that swagger. Mm-hmm. It's like he knew, like when Mariano Rivera came in, he knew he was going to beat you. And he did a majority of the time. So, he's got that, he's confident right now. And that is huge.
Yeah, you don't see that. I haven't seen that out of Kenley Jansen in a while. Yeah, and so I agree with you totally on that. Joe Kelly, I mean, just these guys, the relievers that came in from the Dodgers, just kind of had a little swag to them, a little. Yeah, we're gonna dominate here, and so yeah, it was interesting to see that. I haven't seen the Giants much. Of course, in the West Coast, we don't get to watch them much, but we know what kind of talent they have. When you have Longoria, Bryant, Posey, Belt's out, but you have Crawford. They're talented. Yes. So we'll see what they have. We'll see if their pitching can last, and I'm excited for that. Here's what I don't like. Why is it that the NL teams are playing in the afternoon the first, Friday and Saturday when both teams play tomorrow? They get the afternoon game, and the East Coast teams are getting the night games. How does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean,
it's all money, Kyle. It's all money. That's what it all
right.
comes down to. All right, so tell me, Giants, Dodgers, who you like and how many?
Giants in 5.
I'm taking Dodgers in 5.
I think it's going to be a battle.
All right,
you
so
got Dodgers in 5?
I'm going Dodgers in 5. I am. I do think it's going to be a battle. All right, so on the AL side, you're going Houston and Rays.
Yep.
That'll be a boring ALCS. And on the NL side, we're going Braves, and you're going Giants. I'm going Dodgers.
Yes.
That'll be a fun NLCS. I think so.
Yes, it will.
If the Brewers get there, good for, our friends who work for the Brewers. Andy Haynes and him as a hitting coach, but I just don't see it happening. Maybe I'll be wrong. It wouldn't be the first time I'd been wrong about something. I'd like to just let you know that my sleeper pick, Seattle Mariners, almost got in the playoffs.
They did. That was impressive.
Hey, let's take a quick break. We will come back, and we will talk managers of the year. Speaking of the Seattle Mariners, they haven't named him yet, but he's on top of my list. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll come right back here on Full Count, the podcast.
Today's episode of Full Count is
Check out the Ola deal with great big deals. Pre-owned vehicles starting at $24.95. Online at FordofTuscola.com or call 217-253-3353.
Back here on Full Count, Keith Gibson, Kyle Drone with you. Thank you for joining us, and those who have tuned in here on Facebook on this Thursday evening. Thank you for those who tune in Saturday morning on 103.5 ESPN Radio. Don't forget, if you missed any part of the show or want to download past episodes, you can always visit Amazon Music, Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Podbean, iHeartRadio, all over the place. If you can download it, we're there. So, Kyle Drone, we have talked playoff baseball, and it's my favorite time of year. Regular season's great. It's great, the chase. But now it comes down to executing pitches, getting timely hits, and doing the small things, a little bit of small ball come playoff time.
I kind of thought the spring would be, being a Cubs fan, spring would be the more exciting time for you because you guys still have a chance then.
Well, yeah, I don't know how great of a chance we'll have come next spring. So I'm just enjoying the moment right now. So
right,
give me a chance. Okay. Give me a chance to enjoy this moment. But no, let's talk managers of the year, AL and NL side. I know who I've got on both sides. What's your kind of thoughts? And I know where you're going to go with one of them. I guarantee I know where you're going to NL, but I'm going to tell you you're wrong. I'm going to tell you you're wrong. No, maybe. Who you
17 in a row, man.
I knew it. Do you honestly like Mike Shield as NL manager of the year?
I think he's in the running. I don't think he gets it. But yeah, that they made the playoffs. They came from 5% in August to, making the playoffs.
He did. They did.
And let's put it this way. He made moves within that bullpen, like we talked about with Reyes and the closing position, that changed that dynamic. Obviously the players had to play, the hitters had to hit and all that. But, you're going to say Gabe Kapler, and
you're
Gabe
right.
Kapler, you put him in Philly the year prior or 2 years ago with a very good team, and he did nothing. Now he's over in San Francisco, and they win 100 and something games. So was that him? Was that the team?
Nope. That's where I'm going to go with this. Okay. So I am going to pick Kapler.
Okay.
But 1A,
and I'm not knocking Kapler. I'm just.
But 1A should be either pitching coach Andrew Bailey.
Right, exactly. I'm telling you.
That's what I'm saying. Kapler's my manager of the year, but 1A is our pitching coach Andrew Bailey for what he got out of that pitching staff. Because nobody should be able to get out of that pitching staff what they did. Hands down.
Yeah, and there's no way it just all clicked all of a sudden. Like these 3 or 4 mediocre pitchers with decent major league stats now are your top 3 or 4 or 5 in the top 10 in ERA and wins. And he's got something figured out over there.
He does, and good for him. But all right, so I'll let you take Schilt. I'll take Kapler with a 1A. That's the only way I will take Kapler with the 1A. Let's talk American League. And I just talked about the Mariners before we went to break. to me, even though, the Rays had the best record and Kevin Cash has done a great job in Tampa Bay,
Right.
And I think Toronto's manager has done a great job there. Boy, what Scott Service did in Seattle, though, I mean, nobody expected that out of them. And I think kudos to him.
Yeah, that one I definitely agree with you on. Based on the talent pool that he was dealing with, you'd be hard pressed to name 3 or 4 of the guys in the starting lineup. Most people. I think he did a tremendous job out there. Another West Coast team that we don't get to see play a lot, so you don't realize, what they're all about. But yeah, they were just right there. What a game out at the end of the season for a wild card playoff. So he did great, and a great baseball guy. So yeah, I think he's definitely the front runner.
Let's talk about a couple guys who could call it quits at the end of the year. Got standing O, and I thought it was the Washington Nationals fan did a great job. One's Ryan Zimmerman, just a class act guy too as well. Took on a role this year with Washington that wasn't his normal. He wasn't starting. He just kind of played a role position. Not sure what he's going to do in the offseason, but the hand he got on the final day of the regular season, kudos to that. I don't know if you saw that or not, but had him in tears at the plate. Of course, they were playing the Red Sox, so Christian Vasquez politely stepped out on the grass. Didn't go to the mound, but stepped out on the grass, made a couple circles. By the time it was all over, Zimmerman had tears in his eyes. And so that was a pretty neat moment there. And then, of course, Kyle Seager in Seattle. He's a free agent after this year. They gave him a standing O and gave him third base, which I thought was really cool. I still have yet to get a Major League Baseball, an MLB base. That's all I want, to hang somewhere in the clubhouse lounge. And they're hard to come by or spend a lot of money on. I'm cheap, so.
Yep.
But you don't have to agree with me. But anyway, all right. We talked managers. We talked a lot of stuff today. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the show, make the call to the bullpen, and give our final thoughts and call it a week. What do you say?
Sounds good.
All right. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back here on Full Count, the podcast at dingerbats.com and on 103.5 ESPN Radio.
Today's episode of Full Count by Biscuits. If you Southern Illinois, all new Biscuits and home with a daily special. 2 large, all natural, juicy white meat chicken breast, a side of the famous What the Hell biscuits, and a bucket of the cheapest beer in stock for only $6.99. Located at the corner of Old Milwaukee Boulevard, next to the Primo Hoover Hotel. Bosco's Biscuits and Booze. It's world champion food and cheap-ass booze.
Wrapping up our show here on Facebook Thursday evening. Thank you for those who have joined us, and we appreciate that. Kyle Drone, Keith Gibson with you. We have a big weekend coming up next weekend, Kyle. Looking forward to that. Playoff baseball. Your Cardinals are done. Are you going to be all right? I know you're a baseball guy, but are you going to be all right with the Cardinals done?
Oh yeah, man. I'm excited about next year.
Well, you should be. You should be, because I think the Cardinals will contend again next year. What I didn't realize, I will be honest, is that they were a 90-win team. I really didn't. I know they won 17 in a row, but I didn't realize I didn't put them at 90. So that's an impressive year for that. So good to them. Yeah. As we make the call to the bullpen, wrap things up, any final thoughts here as we close the show, Kyle Drone?
No, not really. Just excited to see these series kick off, see who's going to take the early leads, and hopefully all my picks beat yours.
Well, that won't happen, but it will, you can dream. You can dream. Just like J.R. Lewis dreams that he can hit the course record and beat us, but that won't happen either. It's our friendly little competition there. But, yeah. All right, so for my tag team partner, my co-host, and my good friend, Kyle Drone, I am Keith Gibson. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great week. Thanks for tuning in with us. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Full Count the Podcast. Make sure you visit Dinger Bats. New hats out, Kyle Drone. I saw that, too. Chance for new Zephyr hats from Dinger. Great looking hats. I better have one on my way.
Thank you.
But excited for everything. Excited for next weekend. We will see you next Thursday night right here on Facebook. Share the show. Tell your friends. Join the group. And above all else, have a great week, everybody. We'll see you soon. right here on Full Count. Have a great night.